Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Now, in today's episode, we're going to talk about going to grandma's house. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I absolutely loved going to my grandma's house because there was always so much stuff between the basement, the attic, the curio cabinets. Everything was full, and I just loved sitting back and taking a look at everything because there were so many different types of things, from kitchenware to toys to just pictures, everything, just decor. I mean, it was so many cool things to look at. And I didn't understand at the time why there were so many things. But as I got older, I understood it's because they lived during the Depression era. And when you lived during that era, you didn't want to get rid of things because you never knew when you were going to get something back. So you held on to everything. You repurposed stuff. You found ways to use things that maybe didn't have a practical use anymore until they were pretty much left in pieces and you pretty much had to throw them away. So today we're going to talk about 5 things in your grandpa's house, in your grandma's estate, wherever it may be that was your grandma's stuff that she grew up with that could be worth a fortune. And I mean, you guys can make big money off of these things because sometimes people just want to get rid of it. They don't want to care about it. I'm telling you, don't do that. Dumpsters. Don't you dare call a dumpster. I mean, there's so many things there that you guys could definitely make money off, profit off of, that you guys will just absolutely hate yourself for throwing them away. So let's get into those 5 things right now. Let's start it off with number 5. The first thing we're going to talk about today is sewing machines. Now, my grandma was notorious for always sewing patches in our jeans, holes from our coats. I mean, she was absolutely amazing at using her sewing machine. I'm sure she didn't like using it all the time because we always kept her busy, putting holes in our jeans and everything else. But she was really good at it. Now, sewing machines are lauded for their durability and beauty. I mean, some of those old sewing machine tables had such ornate wood and those beautiful cast iron bases that I just absolutely love seeing them at auctions and garage sales. They're some of the coolest pieces out there, in my opinion. Now, if you're looking to resell a sewing machine, condition matters. If grandma took care of it, maintenanced it, and made sure everything was there and working in good condition, you're looking at some good money for a sewing machine. But brand does matter. Singer is the brand you should be out there looking for. That's the biggest name in sewing machines, and some of those old Singers can bring thousands of dollars. So it's definitely something I want you guys to keep in mind when you're out there going through grandma's attic or her estate, that don't throw those sewing machines away. If you're having a hard time selling them, just remember, people do repurpose them as well. So they'll take those cast iron bases and turn them into a coffee table or an end table. I mean, don't just throw them away because people are out there using them. We sell sewing machine drawers all the time. So there's definitely a lot of uses out there if you can't find somebody that's going to go out and rebuy all those old sewing machines, because I get it, not everybody sews nowadays, but I'm telling you, you won't go wrong. Don't throw them away. Get that word dumpster out of your mouth, because there is somebody out there that will definitely buy your sewing machine. So, yep, that's it. Sewing machines are something you should definitely be on the lookout for. All right, guys, let's go on to the next one. The next thing we're going to talk about today is cast iron cookware. Now, my grandma was notorious for making great cast iron eggs and bacon in the morning. I mean, she'd make the bacon and then use the bacon grease for the eggs. Oh, man, it tasted so good. Nothing I have anymore. Trying to watch what I eat a little better, but man, that was some great stuff to have back in the day. Now, cast iron has always been lauded for its durability, and again, like the fact that it's still usable. Back something over 100 years ago can still be taken into the kitchen and used today. That's just amazing to me. Now, for certain brands you should be out there looking for, it's Griswold, Wagner, and Lodge. 3 good brands. Those are the ones that are going to fetch the most money. Now, when you're looking at and trying to find out what you have, always look at the bottom of your skillet or pan. That should give you a name, a logo, numbers on it. It's going to help you do a lot of research on it to figure out exactly what you have. Now, if you come across cast iron that's just been rusted out and it looks like it just can't be used, do not throw it away. I'm telling you, people bring cast iron back from the dead all the time. If you need to do anything, look on YouTube and check out how many people can take cast iron from a rusted mess back to something that's just like brand new. So don't think just because it's rusted out that you have to throw it away. Now, you do want to avoid things like cracks. Obviously, that's going to be pretty much impossible to repair. pitting, warping. So if it's not sitting right, definitely make sure you're looking at that as well, because that's going to be a little more of a deal breaker. But I'm telling you, if it's just a little rust on there, it can definitely be fixed. Do not throw it away. And you might be asking yourself, does the food taste better? In my opinion, yes, the food tastes a lot better on a cast iron pan. But if you have issues with too much iron, yes, I know that iron does get in your food a little more. So definitely maybe try to avoid that if you have that kind of issue. But if not, I'm telling you, cast iron food is so much better. Now, if you're looking for a value-wise, most of the time or not most of the time, but some of the time, I've seen some of the rarer pieces of cast iron go for $1,000 to $2,000, sometimes even $3,000. Now, again, those are the rare kinds in beautiful condition. But if not, you're still going to find a lot of collectors out there for cast iron. Now, there might not have been a ton of collectors for your sewing machines, but the fact that people still use cast iron today, it means there's a big market out there for cast iron cookware. So you're not going to have a problem getting rid of it. Do not throw it away. Even if it's unmarked, hold on to it, keep it. I'm telling you, there's going to be somebody out there for it. All right, guys, let's get on to the next one. Next thing we're going to talk about today are cameras. And obviously back in the day, no cell phones, no easy access to a camera. You always had to have one around your neck, in your purse, whatever it may be. But cameras back in the 70s and 80s, not so much. I'm talking about the cameras back in the early 19th century. Now, they are highly collectible and easy to use, which means they have a huge market for them. People are always out there looking for them. Now, you might be wondering, what do they even do with them? People still use these cameras. They enjoy the quality of the pictures and the way they look. It gives a different style to what they make nowadays. Yes, everybody likes being the clearest picture possible nowadays, no issues, but there's something special about the grittiness of the picture you get on your old camera. It's something a lot of people are out there looking for. Now, if you're looking for certain brands that you should be on the lookout for, it's going to be Kodak, Bell & Howell, and Graflex. Now, those are just 3 brands out there that I know can fetch a really good amount of money, but there's still plenty out there as well that, I didn't mention there that can still get you a good amount of money. Now, the fact that they're still usable today is a huge deal. So if you come across them and they're good shape and grandma kept good care of it, the conditions there, maybe it has a case, maybe even has the paperwork that went with it, that just ups the value big time. Now, I've seen these cameras certain ones sell for $2,000, $3,000, even $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 for some of those large curtain cameras that you stand up with, as I'm showing you guys here. They can really get a lot of money, but obviously they got to be in good shape. They got to be working. So that's something you want to keep in mind as well. But even the lower end cameras, you can still get a decent amount of money for that doesn't make it so you want to get rid of them. You never want to throw stuff away. Always do your research. Yes, I know it takes work. Or call somebody like me to come by your estate, because I'm telling you, I can't stand when I see dumpsters outside of people's houses. Don't do that, because there's plenty of opportunity in there to make money off of this stuff, or find somebody that's going to make sure that the item stays still usable for years and years to come. All right, guys, let's go on to the next one. The next item we're going to talk about today is typewriters. Now, I have a little history with typewriters because I remember doing book reports and essays on typewriters. But I also remember typing letters and sending them to my grandma. She lived up north in northern Michigan. I lived in southern Michigan. So there was no other way to correspond other than making phone calls all the time, but we typed letters to each other through the summer. It's something I always remember doing. It was something to help pass the time, and it helped us keep in touch. Now, typewriters were invented back in 1868. Now, it really revolutionized business, art, and obviously the correspondence like we just talked about before. Now, the certain brands I'd definitely be out there looking for are Underwood, Remington, Oliver, and Royal. Those are 4 of the bigger brands of typewriters that usually fetch the most amount of money when you're looking to resell. Now, the market out there for typewriters is fairly big. There's a lot of people that like the sound of typewriters. They like the stuff that it looks better on typewriters. So the market is out there and people are buying typewriters. And the best part about it is that they still sell parts for typewriters. So you don't really have to worry about, does it affect the value? It does not. The people that are buying typewriters do not care that there's newer parts in it. They really want to make sure the item works. And so as long as it works, it's in good shape, I'm telling you, you'll be able to get a good amount of money for your typewriters. Now, if you have ones that are oddly shaped, or they have brass coverings, or the fancy inlaid wood. That all adds to the value of your typewriters. Now, on rare occasions, I've seen some typewriters go for in the thousands of dollars, guys. I'm telling you, there's some out there that can fetch you a couple $1,000s. So it's definitely worth doing your research on and not just throwing them away. Now, if you have more pieces to it, it works. That's all going to add to the value. So always keep that in mind. Condition does matter. If it's beat up and rusted and not working, it's definitely going to take a huge hit to the value. All right, guys, let's get on to the last one. The last thing we're going to talk about today is Pyrex. Now, Pyrex has been out since 1915, well over 100 years, and it is still very popular to this day because it is still usable, it is highly durable, and it is very collectible. A lot of collectors out there look for a lot of these different patterns and colors as well. So don't ever throw Pyrex away. There is a huge market for this. After everything I've said today, take away from this is that Pyrex is the most collectible out of this list. Because for one, it looks great when it's displayed and people still like to use it. In my cabinet right now, I have multiple pieces of Pyrex that we use on a weekly basis. Now, if you're thinking, oh man, it's just baking dishes as mixing bowls, right? No, there's also baby bottles, canning jars, amongst other things that Pyrex produced that are highly collectible to this day. Now, condition does matter with Pyrex. You don't want things that are miscolored, chipped, cracked. Anything like that is definitely going to hurt the value. If you look at some of these pictures I'm showing you, these are pristine pieces of Pyrex, and they can get you thousands of dollars. Now, some of the more rare prototypes, as well as rare patterns like the Atomic Starburst or the Blossom Breeze or the Celestial Diamond. Now, those are just some of the ones out there that can fetch huge money, especially in different kinds of patterns and different kinds of styles that it had. Now, Pyrex to me is not going to go away. This is something that's going to remain collectible because people like to use it, and people like to use things they can hold on to. It's turned into society where we don't necessarily collect stuff just to have it stored in our garage. If we're going to collect it, we want to be able to use it and have a use for it. So that's why I think Pyrex is going to be around a long time, and that's why if you find some in Grandma's attic or a cupboard, do not throw it away. It is definitely worth a lot of money, or at least a good amount of money, and some of it worth a lot of money that I definitely think you'll make out well for. All right, guys, that's our list today. Those are those 5 things that if Grandma grew up with it, it could be worth a fortune. So definitely be on the lookout. Look in Grandma's attic, Grandma's estate. If you inherited a bunch of stuff, don't throw it away. Go through it. Do your research. I'm telling you guys, you will not make a mistake by doing this, because you might find some real diamonds in the rough there, because these are only 5 things. There's plenty more out there that could have a lot of value that you could be missing out on. All right, guys, if you liked the video, if you want to smash that like button, comment below. What did I miss? Did I miss anything on the list that you guys might have included? These are just 5 of them. There's plenty more out there. If you guys like the content as well, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Thank you guys all so much for watching. If you guys get some time and you want to come out and talk to me and say hi, come out and see our shop in Nashville, Michigan and get your antiques fix on M66. See you guys later.